Hi, 27th of May 2023. I've just come from a very grueling long run, 48 kilometers. I'm still recovering. Today happens to be my birthday, and as traditionally I've done in the past, I've made it a day of reflections, and today is no different. And each year there is a thematic reflection. So this year I've focused on something I call the House of Mourning. So this time last year, I remember penning a birthday reflective poem titled The Modern Elder. It attempted to diffuse the tension between inevitability of aging versus the frantic efforts to look young. I said that while growing old is inevitable, tending to the inner child is desirable. Mixing wisdom and wonder, balancing curiosity and confidence were the hallmarks of a modern elder. I had no idea what I was up against in the space of the next 365 days. My wisdom and wonder forays led me to polar opposite territories. A lot has happened in the past 1 year. One noticeable thing is how much I have had to attend funerals and had to condole with family and friends. Between December 2022 and March 2023, I have had 5 funerals. These funerals were of very close family members, as well as a close friend. The events have affected me physically and mentally. When I lost my brother, I lost my running rhythm after his burial. On top of that, I got unwell and was grounded. It had been quite a journey to resume my runs and get my rhythm back, given that I was planning to run 48 kilometers on my birthday. I've been reflecting on the book of Ephesians chapter 7 verse 2, which says that it is better to be in the house of mourning than to a house of feasting. In the past birth calendar year, I have also had the pleasure of attending feasts. I have accompanied relatives to celebrate newborns and feast on food. I have made random visits up country, feasted on ugali ya kisiagi, with traditional mboga, with relish and laughter. Bereavement hit me hard, with a cocktail of deaths in different circumstances. One moment I was speaking with a loved one, a few hours later I heard they were no more. Just like that. In another instance, I've had to watch a loved one slowly and painfully fight for the last flicker of life for weeks. Bereavement took away my desire to keep fit, but parties gave me reason for it. The excuse of indulgence was, I'll work out tomorrow. As I put these contrasting sets of events in the perspective of Ecclesiastes, I can't help but see how they have had a profound effect on my life and my aspirations going forward. To say I was better off walking to find morose faces instead of cheerful ones, or that I was better off being ushered to sign a condolence book rather than congratulate a newlywed couple is bizarre. My moments of mourning were somber, reflective, and often helpless. My moments of feasting, however, were celebratory and often reckless. The rules of diet were thrown out of the window as we reveled in the moment. My house of mourning moments reminded me of the conclusion of life, whereas my house of feasting moments created a mirage of ceaseless existence and fun. My house of mourning moments made me face my own final moments and ask myself the difficult questions, whereas my house of feasting moments gave me an adrenaline rush of fun and food, only leaving me wanting more. My house of mourning moments made me see the pain and suffering of those left behind and how important my presence meant to them, whereas my house of feasting moments only revealed how richly endowed my hosts were, despite the sacrifices they made to put the feast together. See, I guarantee you that if I invited you for a plot to accompany me to condole with a family, you probably will be reluctant, and if you must come, then you'd rather make it quick. If If on the other hand, someone invited you for a party, you would probably jump at the offer. And when the time comes to leave, you wouldn't want to leave because the fun is positive energy. As I listened to elaborate eulogies of the deceased being read, I wondered how much it took to put these stories together. An hour, a day, a week, months? I also wondered how much the deceased knew of this version of their story when they were alive. The House of Mourning taught me that whether I get to tell my story or not, it will somehow be told in whatever version by those who remain when I depart. In the House of Mourning, the host rests on the day of burial as a speaker after speaker takes the mic. In the House of Feasting, the music plays as the host is actively entertaining the guests. The inactive host is unmistakable, even by the guest who he or she never met in life. But the active host can sometimes be forgotten in the hustle and bustle of entertaining guests. The irony of the House of Mourning is that the silent hosts gets the most audience, sometimes more than they could even ask for. In the House of Mourning, guests are not mesmerized by things. No one notices the design of the expensive or cheap casket, unless you have had some motives later. Nobody scrutinizes the seats, the decor, or the cutlery that was used to serve the guests. Focus is mostly on the memory of the deceased, their impact, and the sadness of those left behind. In the House of Feasting, however, guests are mesmerized by things: the venue, the lights, the music, the food, the furniture, the dressing of other guests, name it. Nobody, or few if any, notice the sadness of the workers who put this together. Everything was perfect means that the facility, the ambience, the food, and the fun was to our satisfaction. But the people behind the event often forgotten, ignored, or even overlooked. As I turn another year, I am grateful to be alive. To those who left us would have wanted to be there. Some fought terminal illness, but ultimately succumbed. Others went without a whimper. I, who is here, would have left but have not. The House of Mourning reminds me that I have an end date. I'm one step away from my funeral. When that will be, I don't need to know, but I must be ready for it. I'm grateful for the opportunity to die daily. The House of Mourning doesn't just remind me of how to die well. It also prepares me to live well until I die. To die daily means to be more like Christ here on earth, yet to ultimately die means to see him face to face. I am living wiser knowing that it is only at the House of Mourning where you truly cannot blow your own trumpet. It is also at the House of Mourning where whatever the key the trumpet is blown, it matters little to the departed. This thought makes me humble enough to live my life knowing that everything I have so valued on this side of heaven, I will one day leave behind. I will ultimately be forgotten in some circles where I mattered, just like Joseph in Egypt was. And that is okay with me. When I breathe my last, I will be replaced in my place of work. My achievements will fade away for a while. Family will have fond memories of me, and everything about me will turn from east to west. My earthly possessions will be put in a box and distributed as per my wishes, ultimately having a form of new identity and ownership. While I am still here, while I still have breath, I choose to remain a steward. I choose to love people and use things. I choose to not just use things, but use them to a point that they are useful to me. I choose to incorporate the House of Mourning lessons in my days, knowing that not everything that I can use is useful to me. Not everything that I can use is useful to me. I choose to continually learn to die, to untamed desires and ambitions. My biggest contribution to this world is love, Love. Whether I find myself in the House of Mourning or House of Feasting, I hope that those I love will find reason to come when I call them or when they are called to come on my behalf. Thank you, and God bless you.